and welcome to the Senior Network. We are here at Bayshore. It's a glorious day. We are here with Natalie from Optimal Hearing, Neil, right at home. We all know him.
Great to see you.
How are you all doing?
Wonderful.
This is great. I really appreciate you coming, and I want to start the conversation talking a little bit about hearing and hearing loss. I think I've had my hearing aids now for about 2 years, and I absolutely love them. They've changed my life. Talk to me a little bit about hearing devices, who needs them, when to get them, and when to come in even for a checkup.
You know, when you realize that you're not hearing well as you should be, or someone in your family, a loved one, a friend says, hey, you're misunderstanding me a lot, or you're turning the television up, then it's time to find out where your hearing is. Get a baseline, if nothing else. Hearing aids are not only about staying in communication and contact with your friends and loved ones, but also very, very much about keeping your brain healthy and fit and active. It's stimulation for your brain, our language.
Do I know when I have a hearing loss? I tell you, the way that I found out was I deal a lot with adolescents, and I found and I found myself like leaning in more and more and more. And I loved going to get my hearing test. I thought it was really an eye-opening experience, if you will. And there's no stigma anymore about wearing hearing devices.
No, there's not any stigma. And I tell people all the time, you know, if you're not seeing well, you realize it very quickly. Things are becoming blurry. Hearing loss is a little bit different. It can creep up on you. We don't always know what we're missing. It falls on other people to let us know, hey, you're not hearing me well. And so, you know, when that time comes, it's time to kind of address it and go at least find out. It's important to know because you want to treat it.
You know, Neil, with you and right at home, do you find that families, caretakers, oftentimes notice that one of your clients may have a hearing loss, which may lead to or really be impacting the cognitive decline?
Absolutely. We find that families, a lot of times when I sit down for an assessment, a family member will sometimes look right at me and say, you really need to look at mom or dad. You need to look directly at them.
Slow and loud, yeah.
Keep your voice loud, slower, like you said, or they will not understand and you will not be able to communicate. And then certainly the caregivers have to do that, or and really what it causes if you're not doing that is a sense of isolation for that family member.
To your point, exactly. Talk to me a little bit about that isolation. I think that really scares me more than anything.
You know, if you're not hearing well, then inevitably you're going to, you know, be afraid to speak out, or you don't want to join in on the conversation because it becomes too much of a struggle. And when we retreat inside our own head, it's not always the best place to be. You want to kind of be staying engaged. There were major studies starting in 2011 with Johns Hopkins that showed a correlation between untreated hearing loss and increased instances of things like dementia and Alzheimer's. That retreat is not healthy for the individual.
Let me go back to the right at home piece then. So that's part of what you offer as a service. You are there to really be another set of eyes and ears.
That's correct. When it comes to hearing loss, one of the things that we like to do, we communicate with our families, not just the client that we're there with, of course with their permission, family members who live out of state, even family members who live nearby. We're their eyes and ears. We may be the first person who is really noticing a cognitive change. It could be the hearing loss, but then it, like you said, then it becomes a cognitive change where they're starting to forget doing certain things that they need to do every day. It's like a snowball effect at some point. And then the hope is that we communicate that to them and get an intervention as soon as we can. And sometimes that stimulation is a big key.
Well, it is, and it's really interesting. My assumption is that the more you're in your own head and you don't hear, the more the outside world almost is a distraction, and you know, I can't manage it. So it sort of compounds. Do you find that too?
You know, I think so. So often seniors in advanced years, they've lost so much capability to do other things. So being able to communicate and engage and share stories becomes even more important. And that's why it's just something that you've got to address. Go find out and do something about it.
What can I expect from a hearing assessment? What do I need to do? How do I make the appointment? How long does it last? What are the expectations?
You know, you first of all want to be with somebody who makes you comfortable. You want to know that somebody's going to spend the time to explain your loss to you.
Okay, yeah.
To really give you an education on hearing and hearing loss and what you're experiencing. I think that's critically important. And then, you know, you're going to go through a multi-point test that should be consistent across the board and
Okay.
testing how you're hearing. And beyond that, you want to think of your provider as somebody who's going to be there to service you and help you, not just on day 1, but on year 5 or year 6. Somebody who's going to be there, because you will have problems with your hearing aids.
How do we approach families, because we're in home settings all the time with
Right.
family members and clients who, you said earlier that the stigma is not
Yes.
necessarily there, but some people still feel like, I don't really want to say anything. What do we do in those
Right.
situations?
You know, I try to correlate it to Ralphie in A Christmas Story. If you remember Ralphie in A Christmas Story, he wore the
Yes.
Coke bottle glasses, and there was such a stigma with it. Those times have changed, and we wear Prada and Gucci glasses and fake glasses. And I let people know it's okay, just like those stigmas used to be there. Now look at the kids walking around with
They're big,
earbuds
yeah, or they're
and
big
Bluetooth
they're
pieces.
yes.
And, you know, everybody's got stuff hanging from their ears now. Hearing aids are really pretty invisible, and you know, I think it's just letting people know that it's okay.
Natalie, we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. You all stay with us. There's a lot more to come here on the Senior Network.